Hello everybody! After this magic sunrise we should start with our home story. My name is Bernd Weinmayer and behind the cam it's my son Maxi. Before we start, I have to say I think I'm the only German speaking member of the Plasma Art Alliance. So I try to make this story in my easygoing English language. I hope you can understand me. This is our house mountain called Hund-Almjoch. When you look down, you can see the Inntal Valley with the Inn River Loop. And on the east side, where the sun is rising up, this is the Salzburg direction. It's about 70 kilometers from here. On the north side, it's the German border with Munich, also about 70 kilometers. And on the west side, it's the Innsbruck direction, also about 70 kilometers. And when you look down, this is our little village called Mariastein. And maybe you can see the castle, the white big building. It's our church. It's a pilgrim place. And left beside the church on the hill, the last house, that's our workshop. And when you look left hand by the rock, that's our second workshop. So I will show you all that today. Now we are back from our Hund-Almjoch mountain, the big rock over there. And Maxi is also awakening and can film me. So now we will show you our workshop and the story behind this place. So I'm self-employed since 1994 and I worked in a little workshop also in Mariastein in a former pig stable at the hotel, Mariasteiner Hof Hotel. And in 1997 my father died, and close before he died he said to me that I should take care for my mom and I should take care for this place in Mariastein, because this place was our weekend place, because we are from Germany, we are from Munich, and we traveled here all the weekend time, only for 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. I promised that I will stay here, but I need a big, huge workshop, flame workshop, that I can get all these bigger orders from the bigger companies in Tyrol, because we have a lot of glass industry here. The place where now the workshop is, my mom had her vegetable garden there and a lot of trees and so on, and she was so sad and crying and oh my God, and you cannot do this with me. And then I promised her I make a special construction. I build the workshop in like a cellar, so underground workshop. That's perfect for isolation. So in the winter time it's warm and in the summertime it's cold. And we have a little hill here, so it's possible to do that. So the gas, when it comes out, it can flow out without any steps, because it's ordinarily not allowed to work with propane in a cellar. So we made this 200 square meter workshop in the ground, and the roof is green anymore, so my mom could have the garden on the roof. And this we finished 1998. I get inspired by the Pilchak school ideology, so I like this inspiration. So with the tree house and a lot of nature and the beautiness of nature. This is the place where I got my energy, so it's totally peaceful. We have no visitors here, so that means maybe one or two guys coming in a week and ask for some glass. The rest of the time we are totally alone. So come with me. By the way, this is Lino. As a glass artist, you have to have a Lino in your family. So I work with propane. So we have an underground propane tank. Oh no, Lino. So Lino is in the dirty lake. And we work with oxygen, pressed oxygen and self-made oxygen. We will show you this later. We have our own photovoltaic machine, so we produce our electric power by ourselves. This is our old house. My father built this, and it's so funny. Oh, my mom. Hi Mama, wir filmen dich gerade. Na passt schon, perfekt. It's totally grown with vine and it's a lot of green there and we prefer this. And from here, this is the new building from '98. You have not the feeling that you have to work in the cellar, so you see everything and it's totally bright. So the pool is pretty new. So of course it's also good for flame workers to have a pool when it gets too hot. Working on a lathe, it's so great to jump in the pool and then keep on going, working. So this is now the place for our rabbits. So and sometimes they are hanging up in the workshop for rabbits. And during my time in the glass school, I visited a lot of flame workshops in Germany, some in Austria, only for watching what is the best design for a workshop. That you can work, it shouldn't be too big, it shouldn't be too small. So you have to work smooth and quick. There's a lot of small annealing burners, and here it's the working space from Maxi. This is the cold working station here. There's sandblasting machine, drilling machine, flat grinder, cutting machine, one more flat grinder. What is this? A belt grinder, I think. A dry cut machine and a diamond saw. Here we have the lathe place, the big lathe, and the smaller one. That's my working bench. And of course, everywhere a lot of annealing kilns. Here, here, here. The big one, the ceramic kiln. Here is one more. You need so much kilns in my eyes to save energy. So you cannot have only one huge kiln and you have to wait 1 week till this big kiln is full loaded. It makes no sense because sometimes you have to anneal it pretty quick, so after half an hour, 1 hour. And for my bottle meltings you need a high volume. For other things you need flat big areas, small volume, so it's always good when you have a lot of kilns. So maybe this is interesting because it's part of history. At the beginning I produced bottles. with something in it. So all what you can see here, it's totally old stuff. So for example, I made this skeleton biker bottle in 1997. And the funny thing is, my father wasn't very happy that I decided to become a flame worker. And in his last days of his life, I produced this bottle, and I stand behind next to his bed, and he watched all the time to this bottle and said to me, Bernd, maybe you are right, maybe you have a future as a flame worker. It's totally cool stuff. So for me, I would not sell this bottle anymore, because I have this feeling that my father gives me the okay in his last minutes of his life that maybe it's a good decision to start with flame working. And these bottles I produced during my working time in Colorado in the winter season 2001. So I was there in Beaver Creek and had a little workshop there, only of course with a tourist visa, so for 3 months. And with the little lathe I was able to make this symmetric design. This bottle I made the inside and outside in Beaver Creek, but I connected here in Mariastein. But also these shot glasses are made in Beaver Creek. So, and all the most what you can see here is of course plasma stuff. So I will show this later to you when it's darker. This is now the main part, maybe for you to look at my plasma equipment. It has everything to be flexible. And take a look at this. So my manifold is on a wagon. Plug in. Rotary pump. It's a simple rotary pump. It's enough for me. I don't need a turbo pump or a Quecksilber Diffusionspumpe. I don't know the English name. I connect this here with that. This tube has been connected to the plasma piece, so this is now much too small. It's our testing rail, but it's connected here. And when this is connected, the piece should be at about 300 degrees centigrade, and then you have to pump it for about 2 hours to come down to a pretty deep vacuum. And here this meter is for the rough vacuum, and when it's 0, this meter goes to the deep vacuum. I have here xenon, argon, krypton, nitrogen and neon. I need a lot of neon, so that's the reason for the big bottle. It's much cheaper. This is also a kind of kiln. It fits here, then I open this hole, come with the hand torch, and after 5 minutes inside it has about 300 degrees. This is necessary to clean out the vessel, and when it's fully under vacuum and totally clean, then you can lift it up again. So the tube has to go under this door. I have to isolate the big holes that only this tube goes inside the box. It's a simple, easygoing system. It was all self-made. Till now it's working fine. These valves are made in USA, I think. I bought it in the USA. Maybe it's China made. These are not really good. So when you want to build your own super manifold, you need the best valves what they are available on market. So these are the best valves what you can get. It's produced for high vacuum from the company Normac in Germany. They are super expensive, I think 200 euros one valve, but it's worth to make this investment, because then the vacuum goes down much deeper. So the Normac valves with the green cap, these are the super stuff instead of this one. You don't really need this valve here. I thought I can tune it a little bit finer, but it's not necessary. So one valve is enough. So you need this, it's the grounding. So when the plasma flash is going back, it shouldn't go in the meter line, so on the meter tube, because the meter will break, the sensor will break when the plasma flashes in it. So you need the grounding, that the flash goes always in this direction. And this is the valve for cleaning, for blowing. When all your plasma work is done, you have to open up the system, that there is no vacuum anymore in the system. So this is necessary then to open up to atmosphere pressure. Maybe I show you now the storage. So storage is everywhere. So here is storage, here is one glass stock, and here are the valves and the color glass. When you are a flame worker, you are also a collector, so you collect everything. There are so many flame worker colleagues who get retired or stop with working, and then you are so lucky when you get this glass very, very cheap from them, or maybe totally for free, but you need space. These grails I will show you later with the plasma. Maybe I show you, this is a nice one. It's a big pipe. It's a backpack with a skeleton on the back side, and it's filled with plasma. So it really works. So you can go around at the fair where you have your backpack with the water in it, and outside it's the plasma. It runs with a battery, and of course this metal backpack has to be grounded, because without grounding you will get a flash shock. But this is here, it's made for the Rohr company. This is here for repairing work, but it was a nice one. I work with Cymex, so with the Cavalier stuff in combination with plasma, not with Duran, not with shot, because it has a different kind of color. So when the UV light touch the glass, this shot stuff is gray, it's dead. And the Simax Cavalier material glows in combination with UV light. So sometimes you have a really good combination between the plasma light and the glowing surface of the glass. It's like a purple glowing. So I only use Simax. Let's show you our burners. We are really torch junkies. So we have at least 40 different types of burners, and it depends on the work you have to do. So our simple burner on the bench are the Arnold Zenith burners, the 40 millimeters. That's a good universal burner for all kind of works, but you need these special burners for special orders. For example, this big Arnold torch, it's custom made. I need for the big globes, for the big double wall vessel shapes. And it's so great because you have a flame thickness like this size, and then the glass is glowing very smooth, so you have all the same temperature and no edges, so the wall thickness is everywhere about the same. For the edge, for the brim, I think it's in English, of a grail shape, we need the GTD burner because it makes a super hot flame. It's all not really necessary to have so many different kind of burners, but it helps a lot for the perfect glass shape. And when you have a special burner, then you are much faster, then you save energy, so it makes sense. Here is the storage for the oxygen, for the pressed oxygen bottles. So for the plasma stuff, for the grail stuff, I prefer the pressed oxygens because our self-made oxygen is not hot enough. So this gets much quicker to heat it up. Here are also some older pieces, like the bottle meltings. I stopped with the bottle melting stuff in 2003. That was the time at the gas conference in Seattle where I get in touch with Ed Kirchner. And after this contact, I decided that I will produce in my free time, in my extra time, only plasma stuff and no more bottle meltings, because I was from the beginning totally addicted from this moving plasma light. Maybe now Maxi is starting again with bottle meltings, so you can see it on the back side, the alien. Maxi made this last week, so he is pretty talented, so he is also able to make these bottle meltings. And on the top of the case you can see the Space Shuttle Challenger. I produced this in 1997. I made a few space shuttles. One was an order for John Grunsfeld, the chief service person of the Hubble telescope. And he was up in the space, I think 6 or 7 times. And now he's retired, but he's still working for NASA. He's now the manager for the Mars mission, for the future Mars mission. and it was such a funny contact to work with John. Oh, one more annealing kiln in the American style technique. I love this kiln. It's not really a kiln, it's more like a glory hole. So in about 15 minutes you can bring up a temperature to 900 degrees, so you can fuse borosilicate glass. And maybe you can remember on my big plasma installations like the swordfish or the anglerfish, the life-size skeleton, I had to anneal this here. I hang it on the hook, it's in a hanging position, and there is about a temperature difference between 30 degrees from here to here, because these two tubes, there are on the bottom 2 cheap flame burners, and that's enough to get a really homogeneous temperature in this kiln. But I have no meter, so when I'm up to 550 degrees annealing temperature, then I have to spend 2-3 hours here outside, maybe hanging up in a rocker chair with a beer. So to turn down a little bit the power of the flame, that it goes down to room temperature. Ordinarily, this kind of kiln wouldn't be allowed in Europe. So in Europe, in Germany and in Austria, it's a nightmare. So it has to be everything super professional, and that's the American style kiln. So it works brilliant, but it's better that no neighbors can see it, because when it's on about 900 degrees centigrade, the outside is glowing. So all these nails are glowing red. And it's a lot of noise, like a balloon start. Let's show you the self-made oxygen space and one more store, and that is my production place. Here is the awful workshop, so the emailing stuff and all this shit, the office. I hate this, because this is really a time sucker. So it takes about 50% of my work I spend here, and I would like to spend 99% of my time in front of the burner and not in front of looking at the computer. These are also made for raw, also a water pipe in 2012. Here is the stop for the heavy wall stuff and some scientific stuff. I work about 50% with scientific glass. This is my basic money, and then I can afford playing with plasma. Plasma, you can earn money, but not permanent. So sometimes you're able to sell 1-2 pieces a month, and sometimes you have to wait a few months till somebody is interested in. So it's a permanent up and down, so you need a permanent money flow. So this is our wood workshop for producing all these sockets and the crates for shipping. So we do this all by ourselves. And here it's the room for our oxygen machine. We have 6 concentrators. It's enough for 1 or 2 Arnold Zenith burners, but when you need more oxygen for our big burners, of course it's much too less, so then we need the pressed oxygen. I will show you the plasma stuff when it's darker, and I will also show you the second workshop. It's only 2 kilometers from here, at our farmer place. See you later. So now we are driving to our second workshop. Then you can see our little village. And here you see our church. It's a beautiful old building. It's a castle. I think it's 600 years old or something like that. We don't believe in the Holy Catholic Church, but I like the building, and we believe on nature, on our Creator. Maybe he or she was a male or female. And here, this was my old workshop, the former pig stable. The first years after I get self-employed, and on the right side you can see our farmer place. My wife Kitty and her father grown up there, and in 2013 Kitty got this house from her father, and it was a totally broken building, so similar like a castle, with a broken roof and no floors anymore. It was a smokery. The people here from this region brought their bacon, and then it gets smoked. It took about 3 months. It was a smoking kitchen. It was totally black and dark, and they hang up their bacon, and after 3 months it was perfect smoked. We got the feeling that the whole building was smoked, because the whole building was black, covered inside. And look at this beautiful house now. So the building is about 200 years old. The place called Schneider. It took us about 10 years to rebuild it. It's an original Venetian well from the 15th century. And this is the symbol of the surgery from my wife. She is also self-employed with kinesiology and MD therapy and specialist for diabetes, and she's also working at the ICU in a hospital. And in the free time we spend so much time with gardening and with cleaning up, making stonework, woodwork. So it's all made by ourselves. It's such a beautiful work to hang up in the garden. You feel so grounded. So, the language from the plasma artists. When you feel grounded, it's always good. You feel the energy from the nature and all these flowers. And each time of the year, different flowers are here. And this mosaic is also made by ourselves. This is our memorial stone for all our loved ones. They still died, so it doesn't matter if these are our animals, our parents, our friends, glass-blowing friends. Here, it's tough to read, but here is Barbara, forever engraved, and the fossil, it's the symbol for endless life. So come in. It's a little bit dark here, smokery. No, now it's clean. So we did our furniture by ourselves. So this is like a throne, like the throne of Game of Thrones. So an old tree cut it with the chainsaw in 2 halves, and it's such fun to make work like this. A hornet house. We have hornets almost every year, and look at this piece of art. I think 4,000 hornets live there. It's about 5 years old, but we get every year this kind of building. It's so amazing. So, and now I will show you the second workshop. My colleague Patrick is working there. I know him since he was 5 years old, and it's feeling like he is a family member. So he's a specialist for making schnapps glasses, so shot glasses. He is also self-employed. And the workshop is pretty the same equipped than mine, so with bench, a sandblasting machine, lathe, the cold work stuff. So it's Sunday. Patrick is also working on Sunday. I like these employees. No, he's not an employee, he's self-employed. The back side of a cow, also an art piece made from a neighbor here. Oh, and here our chickens. We have 14 chickens now. Now we show you the storage for the big glass stuff. So it's not super interesting, but I have a very interesting piece there. And here is the storage for the big glass stuff. So 500 liter globe, 200, and 100 a lot. Especially the 500 we are pretty proud, because we have heard that Schott is not producing this size anymore. So I have heard that 200 is now the biggest available size. And here is the special one. An original Bill Parker. It's the biggest plasma globe in the world. It was 30 years at the Technorama Museum in Switzerland, in Winterthur. And before this, it was it was produced for the World Trade Fair in Nagoya, 1989. So that's the next project. We have to clean it inside, to refill it again, because now it's a little bit dirty, everything. Bill Parker, 1989. And this big globe is now replaced in 2 500 liter globes I made, or I filled up for the Technorama Museum. So now this is the perfect stuff for our farmer place. We started our project with the first sunrise at the Hundalmjoch mountain this morning, and we'll finish it with the last Magic Nature plasma light. And we are waiting now till it's totally dark, then we can show you our plasma art in real life. Now it's beautiful dark, so let me show you some plasma effects. So the choker piece, it's a neon xenon filling, and you see when you have sharp edges like the face, there is more orange color, and when it's smooth surface like the back side of the head, it's more blue purple. So that means the shape of the glass is responsible for the effect, for the plasma effect. And it runs with a jerk transformer, so it's a little bit dark. When you use a PWM 400, then it's more bright. And on the back side there is also a skull, the steampunk piece. It's filled with a xenon iodine mixture, and it's the PPS 24 transformer, so the Schmidt-Bauer transformer. I use 3 transformer types. This is the well-known PWM 400. I also used the PWM 12. I like the power from these tools, but not the quality. Sometimes it's looking not so professional made and not so super safe, but it works fine, but they are not available anymore. This piece is replaced from the PPS 24. It's produced in Germany, in Bavaria, and it's a great power supply, very strong, so you can work on a 500 liter globe or a 200 liter plasma globe. It's not a problem for this kind of power supply. It has one weakness, so when you have an installation where many power supplies are pretty close together, then they burn each other out. So it's no problem for a single presentation piece, but for an installation it's a little bit tricky. I don't know why. And the second problem, very expensive. So it's 750 euros about. It's coming with transformer, with the 24 volt transformer and the power supply, and you have the option for a remote control. It's a cool tool, but for smaller objects, very expensive. And the newest one is the Jerk. It's a Taiwanese power supply, very small, but very well made. So it has a metal heatsink frame, and the Tesla coil, it's encased with resin, and also a 24 volt connection. Or you can buy an ordinary power supply on Amazon, or it's a cheap one. It's about 15 euros. You can tune it, the voltage, and it works pretty well. I like that power supply. It's not very powerful, so for some gas mixtures it's not so bright than, for example, the PWM 12. But for my pure neon orange pieces, it works perfectly. And if it takes more than 1.5 amps or 20 watts, then it should be a case over the power supply with a fan. It's self-made, but it's working perfect, because then the temperature comes down to about 30 degrees, and without this cooling frame it can rise up to 80 degrees centigrade. Let me show you my favorite electrodes. It's the Jan Lux electrode from Paris. I think they produce it in Romania, and they are very well made. And I haven't seen one broken electrode till now. And in the past I had the Neon Products electrode. So all of these are borosilicate electrodes, because I only work with borosilicate. And the electrodes from Neon Products are far away from this quality. The jelly installation runs with 5 jerk transformers with fan cooling. I would say it wouldn't be necessary because all these jellyfishes together, it takes about 100 watts. So without fan, about 90 watts. This is, I think, pure neon, pure xenon with a very low pressure, maybe 20 torr, 15 torr. Then the cap is green. This is a typical neon gray piece, so it's a double wall shaped cap and a very thin double wall touched bottom, and runs with a very low wattage, so 12 watt and 19 volt. This is a funny piece because it has a special shape. This is hollow, of course, but the top is double shaped, so double wall, and the second globe here is only hollow, so without a second wall, and that means that the patterns are growing only when you have this double wall shape. Here is double wall shape, very thin touched. Here also, but it's hard to get some patterns here. Here of course, and here nothing, only orange fork. And it's so funny to see that these stringers are grown out from the fork. And a nice turning. That's a huge grail filled with 100% neon. It runs with the little jerk transformer. It has a diameter of 40 centimeters, 42 I think. It's the biggest cap I made till now. The socket is a little bit too much grounded. I would use a wood instead of this stone. The foot wouldn't be so bright. It should have the same color, the same brightness, and now the foot is a little bit brighter than the cup. The skull is one of our small bull skulls. I think it was pure neon or a little bit xenon, yeah. Very old one, 2004. This is a piece I don't really like it, but it's so funny because it has a cap which isn't connected. So of course you know that kind of effect. It is coming from the electromagnetic field, and you have this electromagnetic field about 30 centimeters, so 1 foot, and then it's not strong enough to illuminate the cup. It's a xenon neon mixture, but it's not a good mixture, so you can not really see the patterns. It's a testing piece. Here we have a small Pangea lamp I made together with Gerhard Hochmuth, and it's a xenon neon mixture. Bullfrog, skeleton, pure neon. This is the big Pangea globe. It's 40 centimeter diameter, and it's also the same filling like the other Pangea xenon neon mixture. It runs now with a jerk transformer and fan cooling. Maybe when you use a better transformer like the PPS 24, then it's brighter. This is about a 15 years old piece called Juli's Last Moments in Paradise. It should be the symbol from my daughter Juli. and it's filled up with pure neon with a very low pressure, and it runs with a PPS 24 transformer and with remote control, so that's the reason for this pumping effect. So this is a funny piece. It's also a xenon neon filling, a little bit of SF6 gas in it, but I think it wouldn't be necessary. It makes the glass a little bit dirty. Very sharp patterns, and these little tiny red dots like mosquitoes, like ants. It runs now with the PPS 24, and it's typical for this kind of transformer. It makes these effects very sharp. And the next piece, it's a tall piece, it's about, I think, 80 centimeter high. It was a xenon neon and a little bit nitrogen, I think, yes, mixture. And it runs with the PPS 24, and then you have these sharp flashes, these sharp edges. And it's so amazing when you see this is now more than 50 years old, and it gets nicer and nicer and more magic each year. At the beginning I wasn't very happy with that piece, and now after 15 years it's so magic, this recolor effect. And now we have two virus pieces. I made this during the Corona time. This is a very good example of these different layers of pattern. So I would say you can make a piece with 20, 30, 40 layers with pure neon, and all would have these pattern effects in a different kind of speed, because it has something to do with the distance between outside and inside surface. When the distance is very thin, then it gets brighter and more active. When it's a little bit wider, this distance, then it's slower. And of course when you touch it, then it gets brighter, because the grounding is more. And the last one, it's also a type of virus piece, a big 40 centimeter piece, and it's filled with xenon neon mixture. And we have the wrong transformer in it now. It's the little jerk transformer, and it would be much brighter and much more sharper with the stringers when you would have a PPS 24 or a PVM 400 transformer. But you can see also here these multicolor effect. When you see this globe inside, it's only this green foggy style, and when you see these cups, the double wall cups, the patterns will grow up. The body torso was also a very interesting project in 2020. It's an original 3D body scan of a supermodel, and we need this graphite torso to produce a glass dress for the designer Iris van Herpen. It took about half a year to blow a hollow structure. It was a really variable dress, and it was displayed by the supermodel Tiandra Forrest on the catwalk, and it was a neon xenon nitrogen filling. It was a beautiful green illuminated dress, but it was too dangerous to illuminate it during the catwalk, because the supermodel comes out from a liquid, from a water bath, and it was too dangerous. So I think nobody knows now that the glass structure is also a neon sculpture. Before I show you a funny story, I have to tell you the background story about this. In 2017 I had a bad blood poisoning, and I was client at the ICU of my wife, and I luckily survived, but after that I decided to change something in my life, and since that time I sleep outdoor. It doesn't matter if it's winter time, summertime, it's cold, stormy. I prefer it only lying with a sleeping bag on our called veranda, and almost every night I have special visitors like deers or mouses or frogs or something else. And since 2 weeks I have a special visitor, and I will show you that, or him, now. At the end of our home story, we want to show you a special shot. We call him Buchshans. It's a young wild fox who visits us since 2 weeks every night. We know him since 2 months. After he gets some food, he wants to play with us. This can be sometimes pretty tough, because he is jumping on my sleeping bag, or catching my headlamp, or hiding our shoes. But it's so great. One more example for the magic nature. So we hope you have enjoyed our home story. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.